Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're reviewing episode 2, season 2 of Batwoman, aka Bitch Mams. This episode was called, Prior Criminal History. Now, me and Jasper, we watched this together, didn't we, mate? You fell asleep after licking your bits a little bit. And I hated it. As always, I absolutely hate this show. This current episode was garbage for many, many reasons. It seals its own fate, quite frankly. The title of the episode really speaks for itself as well. What do you think it's going to be about? What do you think? What do you think that the CW is going to milk here? I think they just showed a tip of the iceberg on the first episode. What is that? Of course, ladies and gents. Of course, it's all about the fact that her race. That's what it's all about. I don't get this. And I said this. I did this when Ruby Rose was in the role. I was like, what are they trying to do here? Are they trying to paint her out to be good or bad? I'm really genuinely confused. And I was genuinely confused at the time. It never made sense to me. It never made sense to me at all. They paint these characters out to be awful, awful human beings. Some of them are genuinely awful human beings. And this one is absolutely no different. Really is no different at all. I'm just changing the lighting whilst I'm talking about this. Genuinely, no. So, oh my god. So, I don't even understand why Javicia Leslie would want to be a part of this show. Because they are using her race as a plot point. It's tokenization. It's just lame. And it's also done in the worst possible ways. So, basically, what happens in this episode is we get a bit of a flashback, which is actually not explained, which is really dumb. Flashback to new Bitch Mams not being Bitch Mams. And Halloween, she gets mugged, basically, and the real Bitch Mams comes down and saves the day. Still not Ruby Rose. Literally doesn't make an appearance at all. Nowhere to be found. I still think it's hilarious. And so that's that weird flashback. Not explained. Then modern day. And it's just the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. So Javicia Leslie she's going she's doing her shopping. Right? She's doing her shopping. And then some people come in and attempt to rob the place, right? As apparently they do, armed robbers. And they bosh the guy in the face, the cashier, and Javicia Leslie. Leslie? What am I, Sean Connery? Leslie. She jumps in, she saves the day. And I kid you not, the robbers run out seconds later. Not a policeman, the crow, which we're going to get into a second, because I'm so sick of these crows, it still doesn't make any sense, comes in and goes hands up while she's trying to resuscitate the cashier. And she's like, oh, but I didn't do it. And it's like, right, okay, so you're gonna play the race card there, CW. You're going to basically frame her because she's black. I don't understand. What are you trying to tell here? Because it doesn't look good either way. If you're pro BLM, this doesn't look good. And if you're anti BLM, this still doesn't look good. It doesn't... what is it? So anyway, she goes to the crows, who apparently can interrogate people. And apparently the crows can have you in custody. This is a private security firm in a city where there is a police department. My brain doesn't work. I physically can't compute it. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand. But they're the people that first respond to everything. What is it? Please tell me, Americans. This doesn't make sense to you either, does it? No, it's not just me. Doesn't make any sense. No, cool, fine. So anyway, she gets interrogated. She's like, no, it wasn't me. Blah, blah, blah. Guy comes in, who, bearing in mind, you'd have thought they would have checked the security footage first. He comes in and goes, security footage is in. The story checks out. And yes, I know, you probably just see my grey hairs. So she gets let go. But when she gets let go, Sophie, the woman who used to date Bitch Mams, comes in. She's there anyway, and she's like, something about Alice, blah blah blah. Oh well, his sympathy died with Alice a long time ago, and Ryan's like, well, yeah, we all know why he won't kill Alice, and then she goes, yeah, because she's not black. All right then. So they do all of that. I just want to touch on the race elements first. So they do all of that. Then later in the episode, Alice plans this big thing. And Luke, obviously, Luke and Mary, I think their name is, obviously needed a new Batwoman. So Javicia Leslie's like, I'll do it. And Mary's like, yeah, definitely. And Luke's like, no, hello, black. Which I thought was utterly hilarious. Just the fact that, I mean, like, I don't see an issue with that. But I'm sure some people would have actually found that offensive. If it wasn't delivered by a black person. But it was hilarious. I thought it was great. Very, very funny. Very comical. It's funny that they highlight that there as a negative because people will notice, but then they don't on other things, and then they use... I just don't understand what this show is. I just don't understand. Anyway, outside of all of that, that's just all the race crap, and it is crap. It's utter garbage. It perpetuates nonsense. It's such crap. This show is a big, giant soap opera. So, in this episode, you have got Sophie, Bitch Mam's former lover, boning Alfred Pennyworth's niece, I think it is, or granddaughter, either or, doesn't matter, or daughter, again, doesn't matter. Interchangeable. Lesbian this, lesbian that. Who cares? It doesn't matter at this point, because they're not the actual characters, so it doesn't matter. Anyway... And they work together, and they're just out in the open. They're like, "Tell me why? Did she tell you she loved you?" And then Sophie turns around in the office, like, "Why?" Well, because I want to know if you're dumping me because you don't trust me, or because of Kate. And she's like, "Yeah, both," and walks off. I was like, "Mate, this is the office. What are you doing? Have some professionalism, son." Terrible. Anyway, Alice's major plan, right, is to get bats consuming a toxin, release the bats on the city, so they apparently attack humans, not what they would do, so that humans have the toxin, so a bunch die, right? And she does this by duct taping a rat to the dead body of her friend Mouse, because in a flashback scene she remembers Mouse says, "Bats eat rats." They don't do that. That's a lie. And then the bats, presumably the bats are like cutting up Mouse because Mouse was killed with the toxin. Mouse is delivered to Mary in a weird little hospital thing. Starts convulsing and a bat rips out of him. Mate, what? This show. This show. And then anyway, all of the bats get set off onto the city and they just randomly attack people. And I kid you not, the crows are there going with a bloody shotgun. I'm like, mate. And Uzis, submachine guns. I'm like, what are you doing? Submachine gunning bats out of the sky. This is the worst show ever. And I tell you why it's so bad. Right? It is so bad because it's a soap opera. It's not a superhero show. It's a soap opera. It's interpersonal relationships. It's social politics. Right? It's just garbage. I kid you not, Batwoman stands there in front of all these people and goes, no, like, seriously, guys, can you, move? Travesty. The show is an absolute travesty. It's garbage. I hate it so much. It sounds like I'm just waffling nonsense, but this is actually the show. It's crap. They're bombing down the highway in that C7 Corvette, right? And I kid you not, they use a CG car at some points. Fuck my life. Hate this show. No wonder the ratings are dive bombing. You're playing race politics non-stop. You've got the crows. Can someone explain that to me? I don't understand that. I am genuinely baffled. Anyway, whatever. Season 2, episode 2 sucked. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.